What's happening, YouTube? Jonathan Pariente, the Education 10 here, coming at you guys with another video. I want to ask you guys to please continue to check and subscribe to my channel for more YouTube videos. Yesterday was the culmination of the NFL Draft for 2021. 7 rounds, over 250 players were drafted. The New York Jets were the team that everybody had their eyes on. Who were they going to draft this year, and what was the future of their football team going to be? Joe Douglas was making moves in this draft to answer those very questions, and he delivered. The first 4 picks, the Jets took offense, something they have not done since 1983. They needed to address key pieces on offense in the early going, and that they did. And let's dive into who they got. First, the Jets had the number 2 pick in the first round. And as everybody predicted, and rightfully so, the Jets selected Zach Wilson, the quarterback out of BYU. Everybody had a lot of questions about Wilson. He never played against big competition, so the numbers he had, well, can you trust them? He never played USC, really. He never played the Pac-10 or the Big 12 at all, if barely. But I was impressed with what I've seen from him with his arm, the pro day that he had, and when he got introduced, you just saw a lot of joy and passion from him. Like, he really wanted to be here. And I think you're going to see Zach Wilson really surprise a lot of people. Everyone thought, oh, the Jets should have taken Justin Fields. Oh, the Jets could have taken maybe Trey Lance, perhaps. Justin Fields went 10th in the draft. He went all the way down to the Bears. Not that that won't pan out for him, but I feel like the Jets saw talent in Wilson that he had with how he could throw the ball, move the pocket around, can just kind of thread the needle, something that maybe they felt that maybe Fields didn't have. So this is going to be a very interesting choice, and I'm curious to see what Wilson will bring to the table in the future. The Jets then traded up in that first round as well to 14 and took Elijah Vera Tucker, the offensive lineman out of USC. Vera Tucker, one of the best linemen a lot of people said was in this draft at the time the Jets took him. O-linemen were flying off the board, and they're very, very delicate to have at your front line to protect your quarterback. The Jets already had Mekhi Becton from last year's draft, and to add Vera Tucker now to bolster that O-line and have protection for Zach Wilson is going to be key. So really pay attention to that. I think you're going to see Zach Wilson have the time he needs in the pocket now to throw the football, and you won't see him scrambling around for his life like you did with Sam Darnold. The Jets then did not have a... Then in the second round, the Jets took Elijah Moore, the wide receiver out of Ole Miss, second pick of the second round. A very talented wide receiver. He was really regarded as one of the best for his time in college football. Has incredible speed. And he's also very good in the slot. I think the Jets really needed a slot receiver, somebody that they can just throw the ball down to if they need to. And again, the way he ran on his combine, on his pro day, I saw speed in this guy. I saw passion in this guy. He may not be a big man, but you give Elijah more space, he will thread through defenses. And I think you're going to see him do some phenomenal and exciting plays, something the Jets haven't had in a long time. The Jets then drafted Michael Carter. They did not have a third-round pick, so we go right to the fourth round. The Jets took Michael Carter, the running back out of UNC, the Tar Heels. The Jets kind of needed help at the running back position. Yeah, they had LaMichael P. Ryan. He is still a young kid, but they needed another presence. Frank Gore is retiring. The Jets needed to get younger at the running back position. Carter, again, not a big guy, but he's a good back to have third down conversions perhaps. And if you give him space, he can be very hard to tackle. And that's somebody the Jets needed to address in the early going. So the first 4 picks right there were offense, something the Jets never did. And very quietly, guys, Michael Carter could be somebody very special. I know the Jets wanted to get Najee Harris and Etienne, but they were off the board by round 1. Etienne went to Jacksonville. Najee Harris went to Pittsburgh. So the Jets will have to settle for Carter. I think he'll be fine. I like the addition, and I think we're going to see a lot of exciting plays out of him. From that point on now, as we go later in that fourth round, the Jets then went defense. And they needed to address the linebacking position. They took Jamien Sherwood, linebacker out of Auburn. Again, very good, speedy guy, not afraid to hit people. The Jets needed to get a physical presence on defense. They were missing that in some places with the linebacking position. And adding somebody like Sherwood to Robert Saleh's system, where you play smash-mouth defense, but with athleticism and also with a little extra pep, I think Sherwood's going to be perfect for that. The Jets then addressed the secondary, and this was a position they needed a lot of help in. They drafted a second Michael Carter the second out of Duke. Again, very phenomenal player as a cornerback. And again, a piece on that secondary the Jets need. Somebody that can stay with the receiver, not going to be afraid to challenge. And I think the Jets will really demonstrate a lot more of attacking that top receiver on the secondary. Jets haven't had something like that since Darrelle Revis. The Jets then continued with the cornerback position, drafting Jason Pinnock out of Pittsburgh. Again, another good piece. He was very well talked about in college. And again, the Jets needed help on the secondary. That was their weakest position. They needed help on the cornerback position. They needed to get guys that can get after the wide receiver. Also, again, are not going to be afraid to challenge. And Pinnock, I think, will be that perfect piece for them. The Jets then took Hamza Nasruddin out of Florida State, a linebacker. If it hadn't been for an ACL, I think he would have been taken a lot higher than he was, being that he went in about the 6th round. But Nasruddin is going to provide a very good presence on the Jets' linebacking crew. They needed help on pass rush. I think Nasruddin will provide that. He's a lot quicker, I think, than people realize. And he's somebody that can get after the opposing quarterback. And for the Jets, they need to establish that identity of not being afraid to attack the quarterback, not being afraid to stand up to the opponent's offense, something they didn't do a lot of the past couple of years. Then the Jets, again, drafted a cornerback, Brandon Eccles out of Kentucky. Again, another very good speedster, another good guy on secondary, on the safety position as well. You could really put him in and out at safety, cornerback. And again, somebody that will be very good at intercepting passes. If you need him to kind of hang with the wide receiver of the opponents, kind of just to deflect a pass, the Jets needed help there. The Jets were burned badly on long throws, and they needed somebody that can be that presence on the defense that can help just shut down the opposition. And then finally, another piece to the pass rush the Jets got with their final pick, Jonathan Marshall, the defensive tackle out of Arkansas. Big man. Again, another good piece the Jets needed to have on their front defense. Somebody that can really, again, just be that piece that can get to the quarterback. Somebody that can rush the passer. That's what a pass rush does. Now, will all of these moves pan out right away? Not all. But at least I can tell you about 4 or 5 of these guys the Jets drafted are going to be starting in that lineup. One of them will definitely be Elijah Vera Tucker. He's going to be a big presence on the left side of the ball. Assuming the Jets decide to sign a veteran quarterback, Zach Wilson is probably starting. Elijah Moore, you're definitely going to see in the lineup. I think very, very much so. You're going to see what he brings to the table. And I think you'll see pieces of this Jet defense get a starting chance. Maybe Sherwood gets an opportunity. I think maybe Marshall could get a chance if he develops his game the right way, and he'll have good mentors to develop him on the defensive side of the ball. You might see 1 or 2 of the Jet corners maybe make an appearance. But the key ingredient was Joe Douglas needed to have a big draft. He needed to get the right pieces. He had to build this team right for the future, and he has. The Jets are going to have a glut of picks in 2022, and this was just the beginning of a possible chance for this Jet team to contend. I don't know if you're going to see them contend this year. Maybe next year, but if worst, 2023. You're going to see this Jet team, ladies and gentlemen, be a very different team from what they were. They're not going to be that laughingstock team anymore. I can kind of see it. And if Wilson does pan out to be that quarterback the Jets have been waiting for, you have Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh and Mike LaFleur to thank for building this team into the hopeful juggernaut it could one day become. But we will see. It's time to put the pen to the paper. In September, the Jets will have to put this product on the field and see what it can do. And I think we're all going to be very excited to find out. Jonathan Pariente, The Execution 10, saying bye for now.